I've been feeling so nostalgic lately, man, and it's obviously due to the return of Bleach and having Bleach and One Piece released on the same day again. Do you know how happy that makes me, man? Like, come on, dude, but just so much nostalgia. The memories of whenever all three of the big three were airing at the same time, specifically in the manga. And it's just, man, dude, it reminds me of when I first started my YouTube channel. And to this day, I always get people ask me, like, yo, Recon, why did you decide to start making videos on the old channel? And I always give everybody, whether it's on YouTube or whenever I'm talking to somebody in real life, regardless of whether it is, I give them all the same exact answer. How could I not? How could I not start a channel? People, do y'all know what was going on back in the beginning, in the early stages of the year 2013, man? In the late stages of the year 2012, we had non-stop Santa Hat level chapters. Don't play with me, dog. Don't play with me. And I had no one, not a single human being, to talk about this greatness with. How could I not come on here and start a YouTube channel, bro? I had to. Yo, I love, and I mean, bro, I love the flagnards. I'm talking capital FLAGNARDS. The flagnards. Out of the content in these two volumes. The end of Punk Hazard was something true. Room Shambles. Yo! Room Shambles. Room Shambles. Come on, man. Like, bro, look at this cover. You know, I love reading and or listening to individuals give either their favorite arcs or their favorite moments or just whatever it is, because to everyone it's going to be different. For everyone, it depends on what they were going through personally or where they were at when it is that they caught up. Because, for example, when you're experiencing something with the community, and just like we did just recently with like Roof Piece, for example, or the Reverie stuff, right? Like that stuff, being in the community while that stuff is going on, hits different than if you're catching up. I'm going to assume, right? It hits different. Just the hype around it, all of us talking about it, speculating, chapter by chapter, these insane cliffhangers, you're like, what in the flying flagmarks is going on? The whole weekly experience amplifies certain moments. And so it really does depend on whether you were caught up, whether you were catching up. You know, that's why I always love listening and watching reactions to people who are catching up to see how they react to certain things that I either read weekly or vice versa, right? So I love listening to people's thoughts. And I've been saying this for a while, and I do hope I can finally sit down and record this by the end of the year, but I really want to make a Recon's piece on my favorite stretches of chapters in this series. Because there are certain stretches in the One Piece story that are bonkers. They are so insane that I just want to sit down one day and attempt to rank my favorites, because there are certain points where Oda just goes unnecessarily ham. Chapter after chapter after chapter after chapter, outdoing himself with every chapter that comes before it. And you're left sitting there like, what in the flying flagnards is going on? And that's what I was experiencing back at the end of 2012, at the beginning of 2013, when I was like, when I get a camera, when I get my phone, I am making videos. Why? Because the content that was going on, folks, y'all know how much I love Luffy, bro. When it comes to the goat with the coat and the moments that my boy goes in, it doesn't matter what it is. That is an auto Jersey Santa hat level chapter. You feel me? If I was doing reactions, y'all are not listening to me, bro. Y'all are not listening to me, son. Listen, if I was doing reactions / reviews, when chapters 689, 690, 691, look, bro, I want y'all to see this, man. 687, bro, Great Dragon Shot. Hold on, yo, listen to me. When this man Luffy popped up with his elephant gun, straight up, Caesar Clown wanted no peace to the king. And the panels that followed, yo, I mean, it was already so beast. It was already, I mean, Punk Hazard was firing on all cylinders at that time. But my goodness, bro. When you end off one of the chapters, we had a crazy revelation in that chapter, if I'm not mistaken. It was this chapter. About the sad and getting shipped off to Doflamingo. I mean, things that are very relevant now about one of the Yonko, one of the 4 emperors, is mass producing these fruits to create an army. That was huge info at the time, folks. Huge info. So, yo, that by itself would have already constituted discussions, afterthoughts. But when you get to this page, bro, like, dog, how is it? And then, now, bro, yo, oh, nah, bro. Chapter 690. This man Luffy observation hockeyed his way and decked this man Caesar again. And then we switch over to what is in both the manga and the anime one of the biggest highlights post time skip. Chapter 690 in the manga and episode 616 in the anime. Smoker and Law versus Virgo, bro. Yo, the tactics, the full body armament hockey, Smoker and Virgo throwing down, Law getting his heart back, and in the midst of all of this, God, I'm not talking about me switching the screen. I'm talking about real room. He did the whole hand gesture, pulled out the room. And when he went in, there was no shambles this time, bro. I mean, the earth was in shambles. The community was in shambles. I was in shambles. You were in shambles. All right? Because when you switch the page and you see this, it's like, hold on, man. Law did not just do this man like that. He did not just do it. But then you flip one page for... and he leaves the line that is so relevant to Onigashima. This is the cogs that already been turning. Back in Fishman Island, we already saw the wheel turning. We saw how things were moving towards what would later become Dressrosa, Whole Cake Island, and now Wano. We look back at all that setup. We were like, holy flagnars, the amount of little bits and pieces of not just foreshadowing. I mean, even further beyond that, in Sabaody, we were talking about this stuff back in Sabaody. Some of it back in Jaya. Or end of Skypiea, not really Jaya, but end of Skypiea. You know, when Doflamingo got the conversation with Bellamy. But regardless, right, you know, there's little sprinkles of information, mainly, you know, really getting to the detail post-time skip. And very relevant now to where we are. And it's just, man, this is one of the most awesome, I mean, dude, the Law fanboys at the time, myself included. Yo, my friend Josh still has the sword, Law's Blade, that he purchased after all of this stuff was happening. That's just how hyped it was, man. Like, dude, And it's just crazy. Like, we were seeing Kid and Apu and Hawkins. We got to see a bit of Big Mom, Doflamingo being mad. Like, this was the most calm and composed dude up until this point. He was straight up, he was laughing at them like, hey man, you know what happened to you last time you fought against Virgo? He was clowning them. He wasn't clowning them anymore. He wasn't clowning them. Not our Trafalgar D, Water Law, and Monkey D, Goatfeed. Bro, he ain't want any pieces of it, man. No pieces. And then you get into the content in this volume with the Grizzly Magnum going in and pwning Caesar. You got that amazing panel of the Alliance and the Strides talking about, yo, they're the enemies. And then you get Baby 5 and Buffalo coming in, Nami and Usopp putting in that work. And in the midst of all of this, Doflamingo is he's coming in, son. He's flying through the air. And I was like, there's no way. There's no way. No way this is happening. And what happens instead of that? While we're setting up Dressrosa, we get a fighting sequence that is still legendary because we have not seen this character ever since. Aokiji shows up, our favorite person on the unicycle. Come on, man. Come on. Yo, this stretch is too special. When you have Aokiji and Doflamingo flexing on Punk Hazard, Dofi was about to take Smoker out, son. And who stopped him? Our beloved Aokiji. And I remember the foreshadowing, we were like, man, not the foreshadowing, but one of the panels, we were like, is that Aokiji? But when he pulled up on the island, bro, I mean, come on, man. Come on. And then you go further, and this man, Don Quixote D of Lamingo, the blonde, feather-loving Lagnard himself, my boy, bro, Mr. comes in and reveals that he has the fruit of legend. And bro, like, I don't know, I don't even know what to say, man. Like, when I actually think back and process the fact that this stuff was actually happening, like, the amount of content that we can look back on now and see it in a different perspective, in a different light, with more context of what's happening now, and seeing just how much stuff was set up then that we haven't even gotten payoff to, because that's how deep the setup goes, to where there's still stuff then. We think about the beginning of Dressrosa, you know, with Aokiji being apart with Blackbeard's first conversation with Luffy. I mean, there was a lot of stuff there, right, that still has yet to pay off. We have yet to see them. We've only seen the beard. We've only seen the beard and a few of them. You know, we only got to see Katarina and we got to see, I think we saw Avalo. We saw Avalo Pizarro in that same chapter, and we saw Shiryu. If I'm not mistaken, I think those were the only 4 that we saw. And so we haven't even seen Aokiji yet, bro. And it's like all of this setup, all this greatness that was taking on at that place in time. I mean, we knew this was going to have major implications. Anybody could see that. But to know just how crazy, the fact that Law's speech in the end of chapter 690 is so relevant in Roof Piece. Literally, Roof Piece is a direct result of that speech at the end of Punk Hazard. And I just love this section so much, man. It's a part of the story that will always have a special place in my heart, and that's why I really want to see where it ranks in my favorite stretches, because I don't think it'll reach in my top 5, because my top 5 favorites, I mean, even just recently, we've had some amazing stretches, right? But I think it's without question top 10, man. Like, just not only the memories that are attached to it, but the actual content in and of itself is just so good. I mean, Oda's pen, I mean, the ink was on fire, son. For weeks on end. When I tell y'all, the Santa hats would have been flying, bro. The Santa hats would have been flying. I mean, yo, it's crazy. It really, really is crazy, bro, when you look back and think about this stuff. And it's amazing. And like I said, because I've been feeling so nostalgic over Bleach and One Piece being in the magazine again after so long. It's just, you know, think back to the 1,000-Year Blood War going on at the time and all the amazing stuff that was happening then. But then, and then also in Naruto at the time, you know, crazy stuff was going down. But then in One Piece, bro, you know, y'all know me, son. So I was like, and that was my thing because I could talk to people about Naruto and Bleach, bro. I've always had people to talk about Naruto and Bleach. And almost everyone that I know in my friend circle loves Naruto. And then Bleach, the individual that I usually talk to on a regular basis, especially like in the Xbox parties, who played Call of Duty or just in school or whatever, we all knew about Bleach. Most of them were caught up to Bleach. So I knew what to talk about Bleach. I had not a single soul to talk to about One Piece until finally Josh and Chris and some of them started catching up. But until then, I was by myself. So I had to create a channel, bro, to get all this hype off my chest. Y'all know how I am, bro. I create hour-long videos on panels, let alone when I'm hyped on stuff, man. Like, I need to get this stuff off my chest. I'm naturally this type of individual where if I either have to get rid of it vocally or through writing it, right? Like, it's got to come out. And so, like, come on, man. This stuff is special. It really is special. And I really miss the early content on the old channel because not only is it so bad from a quality standpoint, but I would love to just go back and just listen to the theories that we used to talk about on the old channel at the beginning of Dressrosa, because there's just so much stuff that is relevant today that we were talking about all the way back then, and stuff that is still so good. And like stuff like chapters 690 and Lost Speech and everything there, that is even better now than it was back then because of context, because of perspective of where things are and how far we've come. And it's like, man, dude, and then the Aokiji and Smoker and Doflamingo stuff, that to me is more legendary now than it was back then. And it was already legendary. But now, because we haven't seen Aokiji in so long, it's like, man, dude, that was the last time we saw him, and we saw him putting in work. Like, yo, that's Kusin, son. And that was around the time the film Z was dropping, and it was crazy. The 15th anniversary of the series was happening around that time. I mean, the hype was real, man. And I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. It's just, I naturally get like this whenever something happens, like whenever they announce Bleach coming back or something crazy happens like Naruto. I naturally get nostalgic, like in One Piece or whatever. Like, I naturally get nostalgic and I remember those times and those days. But it's just, it's insane to me. It really is. Like, just going back, actually legit thinking about the content that took place here, because we talk about it all the time, especially in the afterthoughts, about stuff that was relevant then, just even in just the most recent afterthoughts about like the whole Momonosuke. You see what happened here in Punk Hazard and just throughout all of Wano. When you look back at Punk Hazard, you see all the little bits and pieces of foreshadowing that were sprinkled in there that would become relevant way later on. It just, the patience that it takes to pace something off 350 plus chapters later. It's like, man, Oda greatness, One Piece greatness. My bro, bro, look at this man. Look at the GOAT with the code, son. I mean, he was just putting in so much work. Caesar didn't want any pieces of him. No pieces. Nothing at all, son. He didn't want a single bit of it. And Law, son. I'm out of here, man. Before I ramble on for too much longer, I just needed to talk about this because I've been feeling so nostalgic. Making Bleach content, making new Bleach content is crazy. It feels crazy to me. So, like, just when I was recording that video yesterday, I was like, man, this is nuts. But, yeah, dude. Yeah, I hope y'all have an awesome day. Let me know any memories that you have with Punk Hazard, whether you were reading it at the time or you were watching it in the anime. Let me know if you have any strong memories with the end section of Punk Hazard. Like that final stretch that was just absolutely insane. Let me know how y'all thought about it. What was your favorite moments from it? And any critiques, if you have on any of that as well, I would love to read what you have to say on that end as well. It's just, like I said, it's been a week to reminisce for me, and just thinking back to what was happening when Bleach's 1000-Year Blood War was going on, and thinking back to the One Piece content. Like I said, bro, y'all know, man, y'all know how it is. Like, when I tell y'all, I needed to create a YouTube channel. There was no in and out buts. Either that, or I was gonna make like 10-paged essays on some sort of forum, whether it was like the good old Arlong Park forums or on Naruto Arena. I was talking to somebody about One Piece. I don't give a, bro. I was gonna talk to somebody about this greatness, whether it was by camera or not. Come the Flagnards, I was gonna talk about this heat. That's just how good it was. That's how good it still is, right? Like, that's the thing that's craziest to me. This content is amazing, and the past like 300 chapters have been even better. I mean, folks, we're talking about Dressrosa, Zoe, Whole Cake, Reverie, Wano. Yo, at least 4 that I just mentioned are easily in my top 10 favorite arcs in this series. Like, bro, Wano has the potential to be number 1. I'm out. Y'all have a good one. Stay blessed. One Piece greatness. Punk Hazard was heat, man. Punk Hazard was heat, son.